everyone, I'm Jules.
And I'm Jimmy.
And welcome to our show, Impulse Cash Flow,
where we discuss all things real estate, investing for your financial freedom.
Yes, so today we have my best friend, Tabatha Dixon on. I'm super proud of her. I met her in California maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, and we've just grown a lot together. And I saw her pick up her entire life and move to New York City and start over there, even though she already had a very successful career going here. And so she's super inspiring to me.
I'm really excited to talk to her because she has been an inspiration to me. She's been, I would call her all the time, ask for some advice, and whether when I was getting started, agent-wise, questions. She actually, on a couple deals that I had, I was looking at a couple properties. She would make a phone call to one of her team members, and then her team members literally met us on a property within probably 30 to 45 minutes. So she's a wealth of knowledge, super helpful, and I'm really excited to have her on our show. Awesome, Tabitha. I really appreciate you becoming part of our show. Really happy to have you here. I'm sure Jules is happy to have you here.
Already.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
No, awesome. So if you could, please tell us, what's your story, who you are, where'd you come from, and how you got into real estate?
Sure. So my name is Tabatha Dixon. I am originally from Southern California. I currently reside in Manhattan, New York. Got into real estate, how it all started. So I was 19 years old. I was a business relationships manager for a very large bank. I was doing pretty well in my career, but not really feeling fulfilled with that corporate setting that was a little daunting. So I, had a ton of business clients. They all were either investors or owned property themselves. And I started, getting really friendly and shadowing my mortgage rep at the time. She was a huge mentor for me. And then that year, I bought my very first house. So that's kind of what sparked the interest in real estate for me.
At 19?
Really, at 19,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And did you live in this house?
I did. So I lived in the house. No, I lived in it it was a new development. It was a short sale. So you know how those transactions go. Is a really good learning experience personally for me to go through it before jumping into real estate. Lived in the house for 3 years and then I flipped it. So that was also my first flip.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so really loved the process, made a lot of connections throughout that particular transaction, and decided to pull the trigger to jump into real estate full time about 2 years after that.
And so when you said pull the trigger and jump into real estate, so where'd you start off?
So, pulling the trigger, it was a little difficult to actually take that leap because I was in a salary position, making 6 figures, obviously very young. And the idea of jumping into real estate and, becoming 100% commission was extremely scary. Now being a homeowner myself, it was just a very big leap that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to take alone, but ultimately did it. So I actually shadowed a friend of mine who was a broker of record for a Century 21 office in Orange County, and I became her executive assistant for about 6 months. In those 6 months, I got my real estate license, and then I became a solo broker or solo agent at the time.
Oh, very nice. And I love the fact that you said that you took that leap of faith. Was there something that or was there anyone or anything that helped you take that leap? Was it books, mentors, coaches?
So I didn't have any help. So I was single at the time, on my own. So financially, I was alone. As far as mentors were concerned, so the mortgage rep that I spoke about in the beginning of this was a really great mentor for me throughout that time. I knew personally that I would never want to be in lending because I'm just not a paperwork girl. And there's a ton of paperwork, as we all know, signing loan docs. So that definitely wasn't my cup of tea, but she really just, taught me the ins and outs and taught me the financial aspect of real estate. And I think now, just being in my career 10 years, that was such a beautiful opportunity for me to have because I understand that side of the business as well. So she was a great confidant. And then the woman that I became the executive assistant for was a huge mentor for me throughout my residential career. She's still a broker of record for a large organization in Orange County.
No, I agree with you, because you can do this on your own, but it's so hard. There's so many leaps and bounds, and so you just really need close people within your network base to really help you propel yourself mentally and financially to, build your self-esteem to grow forward in this industry. So
I absolutely couldn't agree more. I think the mental aspect is huge too, because as we know, real estate has its ups and downs, and whether the stock market's doing well or terrible really affects real estate. The pandemic, there's so many different things that personally have experienced in my career that just takes a toll on you mentally. And I think that's 50% of the game, is just, keeping your head right.
Awesome. Okay. Now, you have anything you would like to add?
No.
Okay. So can you tell us where you're at now? So you were an agent here in California, and then you went to become a broker in New York. So how did that all shift around?
Absolutely. So I started my career as a solo agent, and throughout my professional career in California, I went from running a small team to running my own team to running a really large team. And about 4 years ago, I decided to pick up my life with the help of my best friend, Julia, and actually move my life across the U.S. to a place that I had never lived and didn't really know anyone. So moved to New York 4 years ago. We're going on 4 years. Once I got here, I got my license, which took about 3 months to get. So the first year being here, so I'm in Manhattan. So the first year of being here, I was doing the whole bi-coastal thing, because I obviously couldn't live off of zero income. So I was still running my business in California and was there about 1 week per month. And then after a year, just really transitioned my business to New York. So I did residential real estate for the first 3 years of my career here in New York. And then this last year, I was picked up by Jones Lang LaSalle, which is one of the largest global commercial real estate firms in the world. So I now work for JLL and doing office commercial real estate.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool. So awesome.
That's the dream out there, right?
It's a dream. It's its own world, though. I swear New York is its own country too. It just really doesn't, it doesn't, other markets talk about what's going on, and it just doesn't really relate to here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how about this? Could you, we have a lot of listeners that are new into the real estate world and not really sure. Some know about the single family residential, but then commercial side of things. Can you elaborate a little bit further on what the commercial aspect entails?
Sure. So I specialize in office, so I'm not in retail, meaning storefront. I do the more enterprise users. So just for example, some of my clients are like HSBC, Hilton, ABM, just to name a few. So I deal with these larger enterprise users and help them, whether it be their global headquarters, their just New York office. Obviously, a lot of these organizations have to have some sort of New York presence. So I help them, whether it be, 1,000 square foot to, a 200,000 square foot, AIG deal that we just put in to one of the buildings downtown. We do a bunch of office work. The difference between the two, there is nothing the same with residential and commercial outside of they're both real estate. The transactions are totally different. So your residential transaction can take anywhere from 30 to 45 days before it closes on average, whether that be a single family residence or multifamily use. Whereas commercial takes anywhere from 9 months to 3 years to close.
Wow.
So you could be working on a transaction. Yeah, for instance, our the AIG deal that my team closed had been working on that for 3 years.
Wow.
So it's that's a bit of an adjustment if you're looking to transition from residential to commercial. Typically, the way people see it happen is most people go from commercial to residential. and not the other way around per se, but it's awesome. They both have their pros and cons. At least for the residential side, if you have a family and you're, let's say, the breadwinner, it's an amazing opportunity because you can have the days with your kids, but you have to realize that you're working nights and weekends because you're working around everyone else's corporate schedule, whereas commercial real estate is a 7:30 in the morning till about 7 p.m. at night kind of deal, but you don't work nights and weekends. So they both have their pros and cons, and both have a lot of money that you can make with a lot of drive.
No, absolutely. So would you say that with the commercial side, when you lock it up, when the business locks it up under contract with the building that you have, and then is it a lot of negotiations and inspections and just documents, loans, finding partners?
Yeah, so it's a bit different. So with the commercial side, let's just say hypothetically, an organization is interested in taking office space. The entire process, like I said, from start to finish is years. But initially, they go out to tour just like any person would go to see a house, and they pick their shortlisted items, and then ultimately pick their top three. Putting out multiple offers is a thing in commercial real estate. So most likely, they typically put about 3 or 4 offers out, and that's obviously to play the market against each other too. But those negotiations, so once they've, put that RFP, which is a request for proposal out, that negotiation with the actual terms being set in stone typically take about 3 to 4 months.
Oh, wow.
So just that process alone is huge. And then from there, it's just, a lot of back and forth of furniture and test fits, and there's a lot of nuances in commercial that just don't really directly correlate to the residential side. It's not so much inspections per se, but more of making sure that the space is laid out and built out the way that their corporation needs to utilize it. And everyone is so different.
Well, awesome. So with the understanding of like the residential side to the commercial side, what's one big tip that you can give our viewers on either one of the two?
Are they agents or are they investors?
Investors.
Investors? Okay. Real estate is the only thing that, one, isn't going anywhere, and two, is they're not making more of. Our land is our land. So if you have the opportunity and the means to invest in real estate, that is probably the best place that you can put your money. It's going to work for you when you're sleeping. It's going to work for you when the market's really shitty. No matter what, your money is going to be working for you in some way, shape, or form. So invest.
And you had a good question. Now, what if you're an agent or a broker? What would be one tip if someone is looking at getting into this profession?
One, have a really good support system. This business can be a lot. It can be very stressful, but yet so very rewarding. So make sure that your support system is there. And two, I always recommend that my new agents have about 6 months of reserve in their accounts before they decide to jump in full time. You can go months without a paycheck, so it's important that you can still live the lifestyle that you're accustomed to and happy with, because you want to go home and still be happy. Have that savings account and those means to live your life.
That's a good one. Where would you see the real estate market? Like, it's going up and down, just in your opinion, or based on some seminars, webinars that you've been on, where would you see the real estate industry in the next 1 to 5 years?
I think more now than ever, real estate is such at top of mind, especially being here in New York, just with this global pandemic that we're all, in the middle of right now. I think people really realized that one, space is incredibly important, and two, having some sort of residual income, whether that's a rental property or renting out a room, whatever that looks like for you and your family. I think that those two key factors now come into play a lot more than they have in the last 10 years even. So I think real estate is going to boom. I mean, I think, investors are really going to invest, and people are just going to put their money into new projects just to make some sort of income outside of maybe their corporate job.
Oh, very nice. Awesome. Thank you very much. So this next round, this one kind of goes towards, or it comes from our kids. They love to play the Would You Rather game. So it's one of our favorites. So starting off, so would you rather hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Wait, are you vegetarian?
Am I vegetarian? No.
No. Why did I think that you were?
I don't eat pork.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so that's why you chose hamburger. Fly to the moon or stay on land?
Moon.
Classic car or modern car?
Modern.
Beach or the mountains?
Beach.
Stocks or real estate?
Real estate. I know nothing about stocks.
Single family or multifamily?
Multifamily.
Residential or commercial?
Commercial, baby. Just kidding. Probably residential.
Active income or passive income?
Passive income.
Book or audiobook?
Book.
Webinar or seminar?
Seminar. I'm a sucker for a seminar.
Awesome. So this section is a tidal wave around that's just a little bit more about you. So what do you do for fun?
I travel with my husband.
Where was your latest travels, or where are you planning on traveling to next?
We just got back from Italy.
Whoa, amazing.
I'm jelly.
Yeah.
I bet it was a good time.
Okay, what's the next one?
What's your favorite book, either real estate, business, or anything?
Real estate would be MREA, which is Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. I think it's an awesome book for new brokers to read, or agents. Read it. And then I think personally, I love the book called Who Says You Can't, You Do, by, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Who Says You Can't, You Do. Look it up. It's amazing. It's a great book.
I remember you telling me about that book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tab. So you've done a lot from the beginning, to become an agent, running multiple teams, to the commercial side. So where do you see, where do you have any future goals from here?
Well, I just found out that I'm pregnant.
Stop. So. Literally knew you. I fucking knew you were going to say that on this video. I knew it.
Oh my
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I found out the day before yesterday, so this is my way of telling you too. So yeah, I think I am going to just really maximize the next, month doing commercial real estate, and then take some time off to focus on my family. But I absolutely love real estate. It gives me the means to do both, and still have a life outside of work. So it's a blessing.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so exciting.
That's so cool. We're so excited for you.
Okay.
Thank you. You guys are the first ones to know.
Yeah, well now, the whole world's going to know.
Yeah, this will be out.
So many people are going to be watching it, What's your biggest learning experience or takeaway in real estate investing?
I've screwed up.
Yeah, I know.
I've screwed up so many times. Yeah, I would just say the biggest thing is that I've really screwed up and purchased in not so great areas for, let's say, rentals or flipping. I think flipping has been the biggest challenge that I've come across. So I just say, really do your homework on the area, really do your homework on the crime rate in the area, do your homework on, what's hot and popular right now when you're flipping a house, what was popular 6 months ago might not be now. So just really do your homework.
Well, that's good. All right, Tabs. It was great to see you. We're so excited for your new endeavors. So super happy for you. Now, how can our listeners get a hold of you if they're looking for an agent in the New York side, or, you still have your teams back in California? If people want to get a hold of you, how can we get a hold of you?
Sure. So they can go to my email, which is my first name, Tabatha, Tabatha, .Dixon, Dixon, at am.jll.com, or my cell is 949-339-0973.
Awesome. Sounds good.
And we got you out in time too.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
So we got you out in time too.
You did. Thank you. I have to go run to a tour.
Yeah, time is of the essence, so we really appreciate it. Time is so valuable, so appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you guys for watching today. We hope you learned some valuable information and tune in with us next time.
Remember, impulse. It's not an impulse buy, it's an impulse desire to think and grow rich. Peace.